Okay, I'm back to start my first project. I'm gonna do a then and now of my daughter for the library, her love of the library. Started when she was just a little toddler, and now she is in first grade and still loves going to the library. I'm gonna use an 8.5 by 11 paper, and I'm gonna put this in her album. I decided to do an 8.5 by 11 album for her school years, so this will go into her first grade album. And I have 2 4x6 photos, 2.5 by 3.5, and then a 3x3. So I'm kind of doing a grid style layout, which I'm comfortable with. So let's get started.
I'm going to start by placing my photos. I'm not necessarily doing them in chronological order because I did wind up with 2 photos, if I remember correctly, 2 photos that I just didn't want to have next to each other, even though they were close in time. And then like I said, I have the 2 main photos, and I decided to use some rubber pieces, which is pretty big. I usually save the rubber pieces for something special. Don't we always do that? I'll save that embellishment for something special. And then I decided to stack some embellishments on top of the rubber pieces, like the clear book pieces. And I'm also just looking through the journaling cards to see which ones I can cut down to 3x3, and it won't make much of a difference. I noticed this one that says telling my story, that one would work, and also the leaf one will work. I'm also going to follow a somewhat simple formula. Well, it is simple, but I'm not going to do it on every single photo. I am going to put a phrase sticker, one of the green phrase stickers, on several of the photos, and then also add some chipboard. And then I also have the blue chipboard, and I'm going to add a few pieces of that. I'm really just going all out with this kit, and I'm just trying to use every single piece because that's the whole reason that I bought it, right? That's what we do. We buy kits and we hoard them, but I am trying not to do that. I switched out the Once Upon a Time chipboard for a yellow chipboard because I'm going to cut down this card to 2.5 by 3.5, and that card says Once Upon a Time, and I'm just going to fussy cut it and just include it in the card even though it was cut out. So I'm just going to add it like as an embellishment. I decided to take out the reed chipboard and replace it with one of the felt hearts. I know I already said this, but I'm just using a little of this and a little of that to really layer on to this project. I decided to use some of the die cut speech bubbles to help with the layering, so that the main photos will have a speech bubble, a heart, a word sticker, and a chipboard. So multiple pieces. I'm also going to add in 2 of the little tiny words stickers. So I got this idea to take the alphabet the alphabet stamps, and to make a pattern with my ABCs. I thought that would be really cool, and that would really emphasize the colors of the layout and also the theme of the layout. So I just picked at random which letters I was going to put on an acrylic block, and then I am going to stamp it. And then I took a second acrylic block and I made a second pattern, and I'm going to stamp that. And then I will just repeat the first pattern, second pattern, first pattern, second pattern. Just keep doing that. And then I will do that in green, yellow, black, and I think brown. So basically the main colors of the kit. It didn't come out as straight as I would have wanted, but I still really like what this pattern added to my spread overall. So I was happy with it. Now that I have my alphabet pattern laid down, I'm going to put my photos down. And oh my goodness, you guys, I was having such a hard time lining things up. I'm like, this is why I don't do traditional scrapbooking anymore, because I just can't get it straight. I was just getting so frustrated with myself. I pulled out a ruler and I was trying to measure, and I had to rip some stuff up. It was kind of a mess, but In the end, I really overall love this layout, and it's okay if things are not completely lined up. It's not. What was most important was just documenting the story of my daughter and her absolute love of the library. As you can see with that most recent photo, she now picks out her own books. I do not pick out her books. So she picked out like a whopping 15. I think 5 of them were mine, and then 15 were my daughter's. So pretty amazing. Now I'm just lining up the photos for the right side, that way they match. And then I'm putting in a bunch of the other photos, which also include my daughter and her best friend, and they went to toddler time together for a very long time, so that was pretty cool. And like I said earlier, the main photos are going to have lots of different little pieces to add dimension and layering and emphasis of the theme. I'm also going to use my tiny attacher for the books, the book right there, and then the book on the main photo of my daughter. And then my red line adhesive tape, I'm going to use that to hold down the rubber pieces. There we go, stapling that second piece that I'm going to put on my green card that I was able to cut down. And then I have this second rubber piece that I'm going to use, and I put that on the card. I thought I was going to put rubber pieces on the photos, but I didn't want one rubber piece on one main photo and then not the other. That would have just bugged me. So now I'm just kind of figuring out how I'm going to layer on the different pieces on this particular tab without blocking too much of the font. So I get a little sticker and then a word strip and then a tiny heart and then a chipboard. Seriously, I know I've said it so many times, but I just layered on all the little bits and pieces to really use this kit. And then another photo of my daughter sitting in the stacks, picking out her books and trying to decide which books she wants to bring home. Because I used to request books for her. Like if she would say, I want to learn about birds, I'd request books. But now she just picks her own books and I don't get much say. But that's okay. That just means she's growing as a reader. So I'm adding another chipboard, one of the blue chipboards. I'm going to add that to that photo. And now I'm going to start my journaling. I probably should have left a little bit more space or room or added an insert, but I think the photos do a really good job of telling the overall story. So I'm just adding in the journaling about how my daughter is a reader and how I hope to continue to grow that.
Here's the final spread for this big spread to document my daughter and her love of the library. I really like how it came together. The lines may not be straight, the stamping may not be straight, but what's important is the story is documented, and that's what I love about Ali Edwards. Her products and just everything that she stands for just makes you really take a step back and dig a little deeper to find more meaningful stories. I didn't journal as much as I could have or maybe should have, but I think the stories that I did get are good enough for now, and also the photos really help to support what I was trying to show. So I hope you enjoyed this first project with Ali Edwards Read. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.